Anyone who has to call themselves the real world champion is no true champion, brother. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling. Here to review AEW Collision from the 5th of August 2023. CM Punk calls himself the real world champion. What would he know about being a real world champion? He doesn't even know if he is a real man. CM Punk coming out in one of the worst t-shirts I have ever seen in my life. This guy thinks he can identify as a woman. This guy thinks he can identify as a world champion. If we're just going to be able to identify CM Punk as anything, then I'm going to identify CM Punk as a fucking loser. I can't believe the main man of this show came out in a t-shirt that says, "I am a Collision girl." He had a trans t-shirt on with the trans colours, best in the world, the pink and blue, the trans flag, and on the back it said, "I am a Collision girl." CM Punk calling himself a chick. What the fuck is this all about? I wish he'd go. Hopefully he goes back to UFC and gets his ass kicked. I don't know. Maybe somebody in his third fight can knock some sense into him. Could you imagine Austin coming out identifying as a chick? I mean, what the hell is this shit? Anyway, we'll talk about that later on. Opening match, World Tag Team Championships. It was FTR versus Brian Cage and Big Bill. Big Bill, man. Big Bill. Big Bill is shite. When was the last time Big Bill won a match? FTR win, Brian Cage and Big Bill lose. Look, I mean, FTR's been beating all these top tag teams. They beat Bullet Club Gold. They beat MJF and Adam Cole. They weren't going to lose tonight, for God's sake. FTR are on a winning streak, so yeah, whatever. FTR then, after the match, called out the Young Bucks. They said, "It's been 8 years in the making. It's 1-1. Let's do it. Third match, rubber match, Wembley Arena. Top guys out." So there you go, top guys. I mean, these guys, they wish they were top guys. I mean, maybe they're top guys in a shit company, but come on, no one really looks at FTR and thinks, "Wow, this is the greatest thing ever." I'm so pumped to see FTR tonight. I paid money to watch FTR. I wonder if there's anybody out there that actually goes to a show and FTR are the people that they want to see. I just can't imagine that. You look at all the tag teams, just look at the attitude there alone, the tag teams that were coming through. You had like the Dudleys, Edge and Christian, the Hardys, APA, Road Dogg and Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaws. I mean, are you supposed to tell me that FTR is as good as them? Better than those guys? Hell, I mean, FTR aren't even the best tag team today. I mean, the Usos smoke all over FTR in reality. So, yeah, man, I'm not buying an FTR, this top team. Not for me. Anyway, speaking of people at the top, what is it with the top women in Collision? This AEW TBS Championship reign for Kris Statlander sucked. The people that she's feuding with suck. There is, like, literally no hot chicks here. It's all women that look like men, or women that aren't very attractive. Like, what is it with this? It was Statlander versus Mercedes Martinez. The match at the end had a horrible fucking looking botch. Maybe not even a botch, but it was awful. I don't know what you would describe this as. I would describe it as a botch, even though they didn't really make an ass of a move. This just looked fucking horrible. It's like Kris Statlander, it looked like she ducked, but at the same time she put barely any effort into it, so she kind of didn't duck. And then Mercedes Martinez, because she wasn't hitting the clothesline, she kind of just fell over, and it was like, what the hell? This looked awful, yet they're praising it. Statlander rolled her up 1, 2, 3. It was one of the worst things I've ever seen. I mean, Mercedes Martinez goes for like a clothesline at the back of the head, and he got Kris Statlander, who literally just falls over, and then Mercedes Martinez misses the clothesline, so in turn she falls over, and then you just got two women that are sitting there falling over, and then Statlander just rolls her up. It's like, what the fuck is this? What is this? And then we get Diamante come out, who again doesn't look very good. She starts helping Mercedes beat up Statlander, and then we have Willow come out, who's fucking fat and overweight and doesn't look good either. And it's like, what the hell are we doing here? What? I don't understand this. I mean, we could bash the women in WWE, but at least they make an effort to look good. You know, the women in AEW literally just look like they've got to bed. Look like you could find them fucking, I don't know, on a street corner somewhere. Anyway, this run of Kris Statlander has been absolutely terrible, and the fact that they wasted Jade Cargill's big year run, it was almost 2 years, it was like over 500 days. I mean, the fact that they wasted that and then had her lose to Statlander and disappear. I mean, what a fucking waste. This company sucks. Up next with Samoa Joe versus some kid in a mask. I mean, this guy was like 4 foot tall. Apparently his name was Serpentico, but he lost in like less than 10 seconds, so who gives a shit about his name, honestly? Fucking, you don't deserve a name, kid. You lost in 10 seconds. After the match, so Samoa Joe bragged about how good he is and says he wants to face Punk at Wembley. He says that a roll-up won't decide who's the better man, this and that. I mean, Samoa Joe, talk about a guy that went fucking nowhere. This guy is like in the same place that he was 18 years ago. 18 years ago, he was giving up the Ring of Honor title in order to go and wrestle in TNA, and now he's a Ring of Honor champion again. And the only difference is, since then, Ring of Honor has pretty much lost all its credibility. Ring of Honor's pretty much died, and Samoa Joe is 18 years older, so this guy's career's went fucking nowhere. How can he be further? How can he be worse off now than he was back then? I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. He's been to TNA and fucking failed with shitty face paint and a machete. He's been to WWE and got bored, I guess, of hitting AJ in the nuts, or was that Nakamura? It might have been Nakamura. Who cares? Like, both of those feuds sucked anyway. But I don't understand what Samoa Joe's doing here. We're going to get Joe versus Punk, but I think Joe had potential. I remember when they had Joe on Raw and he was taking on Brock Lesnar, and Paul Heyman was like really selling this match, really pretending like Joe was a killer, and you bought it because Paul Heyman did a really good job of making Joe this killer that he's probably not, let's be honest. But I don't know, then Brock Lesnar beat Joe, and ever since then Joe's done nothing. And Joe's went from being someone that could slay the beast to a wee beastie that got slayed. But anyway, let's move on. Match 4, AEW World Trios Championship match. And by the way, I don't watch any trio matches in AEW. I've said this a while ago and I stuck to my word. I don't watch this, so I can't tell you what happened. But I do know House of Black won. Look, trio matches are fucking garbage. The last thing we need is a Trios World Championship set of titles. Get these titles in the bin. They don't deserve oxygen, these titles. Up next with Jay White versus the Bang Bang Gang versus Metallic. Basically, the people on commentary were making fun of Metallic and they compared them to Metallica. I mean, Metallica's worst song is better than anything on this show, so I don't know why they were making fun of Metallica the entire night. Fuck me. I'd rather listen to Metallica for 2 hours than watch this crap. No doubt about it. And that's coming from someone that was never really a Metallica fan. Someone that always thought Metallica was overrated. Definitely give me Metallica over this crap. Jay White wins with the Switchblade, the Blade Runner. I mean, whatever. I feel like running blades over my wrist watching this shit. Come on, what's happening here? Anyway, this match sucked as well. Right, let's move on. We've got one more match, guys. Can we redeem it? It's the real world champion, CM Punk versus Ricky Starks. Ricky Starks comes out. Can CM Punk save the show? No, because coming out in a trans shirt and he's identifying as a chick. He's fucking got on the back of his shirt, I'm a collision girl. No, dude, you're a man. Or at least I thought you were a man. You're just a punk, I guess. Literally, it's in the name, CM Punk. What does CM Punk stand for? Chick magnet. What about chick mentality Punk? Because that's what this guy is. He's got a chick mentality. He's a little bitch. Can't stand CM Punk coming out wearing a trans shirt saying he identifies as a collision girl. What the hell? Hopefully this guy goes back to UFC and gets his ass whipped again, and that would be worth watching. That would be worth paying for. But what isn't worth paying for is AEW. But I tell you what, this main event, if you take away the shirt, it wasn't bad. Ricky Starks versus CM Punk. We had Ricky the Dragon Steamboat with the refereeing position. I think he played the role of an enforcer, I want to say. He was on the outside. He was making sure basically that Ricky Starks didn't cheat his way to victory. And of course, Ricky Starks tried to cheat his way to victory, but the Dragon Steamboat was like, no, you ain't doing that. I don't know why I made a horse noise, because that's probably more the Four Horsemen. But anyway, he went, no, you're no cheating tonight. And he kicked the legs of Ricky Starks off the ropes. Ricky Starks wasn't happy. And then CM Punk managed to roll him up from behind and get the win. So we've seen CM Punk and we've seen Ricky Starks face off each other, 3 times the past 4 weeks, and every match has been like a screwy finish. We've had roll-ups, we've had screwy finishes, and it's like, just give us a fucking definitive winner, please, for God's sake. What is it with this garbage ending, man? Roll-up, hanging onto the tights, foot on the ropes. Give us something better than this crap, man. Give us a definitive winner, a GTS or whatever Ricky Starks' finishing maneuver is. Anyway, Punk celebrates. We then get Ricky Starks hitting the Dragon Steamboat into Punk. Punk falls off the apron, and then Ricky Starks continues to beat the shit out of the Dragon with his own belt. JR did a pretty good job of putting this over. By God almighty, he's whipping him like an animal. This is too much. That flesh, that belt on skin, that leather on skin, God damn it. I mean, JR's still the man. And see, when JR's talking, the other two bums just shut their mouth because they know that JR is the greatest commentator of all time. And you know what? If JR goes to Collision, and I believe JR's not doing the full 2 hours, I think he's just doing the final hour, and if that's the case, that might be the best thing for JR, you know. This guy, if he can still go, give me JR, even if we get less of him, even if he works less dates, I'd rather have JR working a little bit than not working at all, and then maybe he's beyond doing a full-time schedule now, and if so, that's fair enough. But then we got Punk getting back in with a steel chair, and Ricky Starks then eventually left, and Punk checked on Rick in the Draggy Steamboat. So I'm assuming Punk versus Ricky Starks ain't over, and they can have their little match for this fake World Championship. But like, CM Punk calling himself the real World Champion, how long's that going to last, you know? Sooner or later, he's going to have to challenge MJF, or he's going to have to get a real title that is actually recognised by AEW, and not just this little belt that he carries around with a black X on it, because who made this belt? Fucking Elon Musk? It's just got a wee X in the middle of it. What the hell is this? Anyway, I wish AEW had an X on it, because I had an X at this show down a long time ago. Collision wasn't great. I just can't go over that shirt by CM Punk. What was he thinking? I'll give it a 2 out of 10. I did enjoy the main event, but apart from that, there wasn't much else on it. So, I mean, I'll give it a 2 out of 10, guys. Thought the main event was good. Ricky Starks got potential. CM Punk, as much as I dislike him, is like one of the only name values left in wrestling. And it was cool to see Ricky the Dragon Steamboat back. So, yeah, I mean, I did enjoy the main event. Everything else, not so much. Anyway, guys, that's it. Catch you in the next one. Until then, been Fog Wrestling. Thanks for watching, and peace.